It's probably
There was
phase two or something.
Yeah, well, there was a loop there for short runs, or at one time the F line ended there. The 5 line, I think, went there for a while. And the trolley bus went through there, so going there would be very interesting to get people, because a lot of people will ride a streetcar to this area. Now, I took a 733 bus off of Venice Boulevard, running late, but anyway, the point was that this is the first time I've heard about, even if it is phase 2 of going to Union Station. And is this in a master plan now for phase 2, or is it just being talked about?
Being talked about. Yeah, it's still.
It's a good talk about.
We got to get number 1 done first, and then we can start working about the master plan.
But also realize you got the billion-dollar regional connector that will connect Union Station through downtown.
I think everybody here knows about the regional connector.
And you also got Park 101, so we may have some options there too.
But I'm just glad that's being considered.
All right, next question. Kurt?
Yeah, I just want to kind of follow up with that. Doing transit grants and reviewing applications for things in the state, we look at the intermodal connections real seriously. And by missing the high-speed rail, potential future high-speed rail station at Union Station and all the things that come in there, that would be definitely a count against your project.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's a...
No, you're not going after state funding.
Yeah, well, not even
that.
that.
The feds look at that too.
I don't know that it's necessarily a miss though, because like Russ said, I mean, one of the things is you try to say, well, where do you want to go? And if you're at Union, if you get dropped off at Union Station and you want to get downtown, let's say, right? You can take either the regional connector or the subway or something else to get there, and you're downtown. I mean, this is more an internal circulator for downtown that connects to as many of the stops as there if you're coming from other areas. But from downtown to Union Station is just a different dynamic. So
well, I draw some parallels. If you look at the F Market streetcar in San Francisco, it's following the BART line up Market Street, and it also goes to the ferry building. You look at Portland, I believe they extended their streetcar to Union Station. Portland, which is much less busy than ours. Union Station isn't just for the commuter trains, it's also because the Gold Line comes in there. I understand the connection, but I really think you're kind of missing something.
But the issue is to add that other extra mile. It's another $40 million. It's a bridge across the freeway.
Right.
It's a huge amount of environmental issues. And you can eventually get there, but just like Portland's on extension number 6.
Right,
You know,
they didn't go there.
You had to start with phase 1.
Yeah. I think our Union Station is just a lot more, especially by the time you get it built, it's going to be huge.
The other thing to consider is once the high-speed rail is built, you will have a portal to Union Station in Little Tokyo as it comes across the freeway with entrances there and significant parking structures on the northern part of Little Tokyo.
Yeah, I have more of a comment. My name's Carlos. I got in a little late, so I don't know if you addressed it, but just listening to your presentation, I was kind of debating with myself, like, well, what is it? What's going to be their pitch? You know, and you mentioned, you know, it's both livability, it's both creating a sense of place in downtown, but then you also mentioned congestion, and you know, people are driving more, and we want to ease that. And the counter argument to that is, well, the bus system around downtown kind of does provide that service to people in downtown and circulates people. So, I mean, you can, I mean, you know, like, I don't want to get into the old rail versus bus debate, but that's something that, if you want to make the argument of you know, we want to provide a transportation service in downtown, people can say, well, the bus does that and does it cheaply, and you don't have the capital overlays, you don't have to go through state and federal funding, you don't have to meet all these criteria. So it seems to me like your biggest argument might be this economic development driver. This, you know, this is going to create the sense of place in downtown. Yes, it might not be, you know, it's going to miss Union Station. It's going to has these, I don't want to say flaws, but it misses these key connections yet. So, you know, I'm thinking it might be smart, you know, just to identify your project as more of an economic development.
And we do. We probably talked about it before you got here. But
Right.
we say that the streetcar is really two things. It's one, it's a transportation circulator, but secondly, it's an economic development tool. And you can't just tout its circulation benefits alone, because you could do that with the bus. But where it separates itself is with the economic development.
And at First and Hill, you'll connect with the Red Line. At Second and Broadway, you'll connect with the regional connector. At Pershing Square, you connect with the Red Line. At 11th and Flower, again, you connect to the Blue Line and the Expo Line, and they're all interconnected.
that was going to be my next question. Where would it connect with the red line? It's going down Broadway.
Civic Center and Pershing Square.
Would cross the red line
Well, the red line's underground,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
so you'd come right near the station.
Well, near the station, but rather, you're going down Broadway rather than Hill. Hill's where the stations actually are.
Jerry, it's only a block away.
I know how far it is. I understand.
It's
All right.
not a direct connect, you're right.
Okay, well-
You get out and you walk a block.
Okay, I'm just thinking about.
But at Pershing Square, it's right there.
All right, I'm just bringing this up because I'm thinking about the idea of rather than Broadway, having it on Hill instead. Now, there's some disadvantages and some advantages. I know that Cuizar's district is only one block on either side of Broadway. It doesn't count anything else
We're not-
except half of Hill.
Okay, we're not
But that's-
designing downtown around the streetcar, we're taking the streetcar around the existing downtown.
Yeah.
Broadway is really the key spine of downtown.
All right, so now the question is, would it be connecting with any blue line stop that exists now?
Yes, at the, down by the convention center.
Okay,
And the regional connector station.
I'm asking, and the 7th and Metro station along 7th.
Doesn't connect there.
It's a couple blocks away.
But there's no need to connect there when you're connecting at other places.
Well, I understand, yeah,
Otherwise, you're just following the subway and repeating the subway.
Right, I'm just asking one thing at a time here. Okay, so, and then that's basically it. But as far as, I've always thought, maybe I'm wrong, but I know Broadway needs a lot of improvement. But I've always looked at Hill Street as being the rich-poor dividing line. No, there's no one dividing line in as much as it just continues to get poorer as you go east towards Skid Row. But
a lot of people on Spring Street would disagree with that.
well, they think Spring is a dividing line, yeah. And on Broadway, it's a dividing line. But
Well, that's a question we'll never answer because
No, we can't, but-
so that's where we're at today. So
yeah, downtown is evolving, as Bart said.
We're trying to
make both streets better is the real answer
Yeah.
because it's a block away, and so it's really helping both.
And we're trying to figure out where do we want to be 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah, as long as LA is the mild climate, you're going to have homeless coming in from the rest of the country, no matter what. They're going to go somewhere. So it's just going to be that constant.
Bart, any more? Are we done?
We have some more questions.
Okay.
Hi, Alexander, major supporter.
Yep.
So, good job. Quick question, maybe I missed this, I came in kind of late. What are going to be the intervals? Like, as a transit user, I would recommend avoid 20-minute wait time. So, like, maybe during the day, 7 to 10 minutes. Like,
It won't be 20 and it won't be 5. How's that?
sounds fair.
The rest of it all depends on how far apart the stops end up being, what traffic is like, there's a lot of things that mean in there, but it won't be 20 and it won't be 5.
So, like around 10 to 12 minutes or something.
I think it's also dependent on ridership.
Yep.
Right.
If a
Okay,
lot
so
of
you're
people-
Because that's the thing, if there's a huge demand and the money's there, well, you could buy 8 cars, right? And you could run in 5 minutes. I just think it's not economically feasible, and so you have to figure all that stuff out, right?
Thank you.
Dennis,
We've got 7 more minutes of
just a
questions.
quick question.
Yeah.
Have you thought about like the fare might be here, or is that?
Again, the fare is something that, how do you know, right? I mean,
What is
again, it won't be free and it won't be $5. How's that? I'm assuming the range. That's what
It's a good range.
Yeah, it'll be. It's going to be $1, $2. What most typical transit ridership fees are is probably what it is.
Are they going to be
We
big
have, excuse me, we have like time here.
Hi, my name's Phil. I'm sorry I came in a little bit late. I'm a huge supporter of the project. I think it's going to turn out really well once it gets made. I hear a lot of people talking about Union Station. My question, and you guys may have touched on this already, funding, be damned. Where would you like to see this, or what other alignments would you see yourself pursuing years or decades down the line? Is there any place in particular that, aside from looking at the future, where you would like to see more streetcars go in the downtown area?
In the downtown area?
Or outside.
Well, I'm a big streetcar believer, so I think anywhere that has the density, that's the key. It already has to have some existing density, because if it's going to be funded by the private sector in any way, shape, or form, there has to be some density there to spread it around. So there are other areas of Los Angeles that make sense. I think Hollywood is a key one. You could do something in the West Hollywood, kind of Beverly Hills area, Santa Monica. These are places I think that are likely to set up for a streetcar in the future. Downtown, we talked about some of